I just have a few words I want to share with you. And you thought I was joking when I said it would only take an hour. I wasn't. Maybe a little bit. But I want to just mention a couple of things to you. First of all, there's two words that come to mind when I think of the wedding and a ceremony like this. I first of all think of the word gift. And not necessarily maybe gifts that might come from others that appreciate you and want to encourage you. I'm talking about the gift that you're giving each other today. Blake, today, Megan has looked at her life, she's looked at her future, her dreams, her hopes, and she has seen them far more beautiful with you than without you. So today, she gives you her most precious gift. She gives you her life. Cherish that. And Megan, guys, sometimes I have a hard time doing this, but he has looked at his future, his hopes, his dreams, his aspirations. He has seen them far more wonderful with you than without you. So today, Blake gives you his life. Treasure. But to me, the 6 most important words of love in a marriage relationship, I admit I made a mistake. One of the hardest things to do, even in a marriage relationship, is to own up to our own responsibilities when we failed at something, when we didn't carry out a responsibility that we had, or we didn't keep a promise that we really determined to keep, but somehow didn't get done. To own up to that mistake keeps the highways and the byways of forgiveness and restoration open. But when we won't accept our responsibilities, then all that can build up sometimes is disappointment and even bitterness. So to me, the 6 most important words of love in a marriage relationship have to do with loving forgiveness and taking responsibility. The 5 most important words of love, you did a good job. The fact of the matter is that I've met a number of your family and friends, and you have a lot of people here that obviously care much about you. And many of them have been your life encouragers up to this point in time. But today, the 2 of you become each other's most important cheerleaders in life. Because at the end of the day, when you come back from work or from play or from whatever it is that you've engaged in on that day, it's just the 2 of you to encourage one another to face the next day and to do so with courage and strength and determination. So from this day forward, you are each other's most important cheerleaders. So for me, the 5 most important words of love in a marriage relationship have to do with loving and encouraging. The 4 most important words of love, what do you think? Marriage is hard enough to handle without good communication. We talked a little bit about that when you were visiting with me a few weeks ago. All that I can say is that in my own marriage, God has prevented me from making some really terrible decisions because I took a moment and I asked my wife, well, what do you think? Loving communication. Blake, you have a responsibility. Even though you think you know Megan really well, you don't know Megan. You have the responsibility to ask her, what do you think? And you have the equal responsibility to listen very carefully. And Megan, I think I shared with you, I have 4 daughters, and so I have 4 daughters and a wife. I've been surrounded with women most of my adult life. I know women read men a little better than the other way around, but you still don't know everything there is about this guy. I have a feeling he's got a few more surprises in life for you. You have the responsibility to ask him, what does he think? And the equal responsibility to listen to him. The 4 most important words of love in a marriage relationship have to do with loving communication. The 3 most important words of love in a marriage relationship, guess. I love you, of course. This is a wedding. This is a marriage. I trust that you said it at least 1 or 2 times before today. I trust that you will say it hopefully every day, maybe many times a day, for the rest of your lives. You cannot express to each other, I love you, too much. But what I really want you to understand is it's not just the words, it's the actions behind the words that give the words any meaning. And so I want to challenge you to find practical ways, day in and day out, that communicate by action, I love you. That may mean you have to really learn how to do hook 'em horns the right way. It may mean that you have to watch those Cubs once in a while. Practical ways that say, I love you, so that when you use the words, I love you, they are rich and full with meaning. The three most important words of love in a marriage relationship have to do with love expressed. The two most important words of love in a marriage relationship, thank you. Thank you. The fact of the matter is, as you settle into life and you begin this journey together, there's going to be certain things that kind of will fall into your camp of responsibilities for the family, and certain things that will fall into your camp that you'll be expected or kind of you are drawn to doing, and you're going to find that you do them over and over and over again. And decades from now, I hope that the two of you are still saying to each other, thank you for doing that, even though it might be the 10,000th time you've done it. Because when you say thank you to each other, you're saying to that person how much you still treasure that they're in your life and that they love you to do these things. So to me, the two most important words of love in a marriage relationship have to do with love and appreciation. And to me, the most important word of love in a marriage relationship is the single word, we. Not W-I-I, by the way, Blake. We. You're becoming a we today. You're going through a relational metamorphosis. Think about this. You came in one door as a single lady. You came in a second door at a whole different time as a single man. And you're coming together here, but you know, when you leave, you're going to leave through the same door, and you're going to leave as a couple, as husband and wife. You're not getting rid of your me's. You're taking your me's and you're beginning to blend them together so that you become more me and you become more me. You become more Megan, and you become more Blake. But it's that we, it's that foundation, that commitment to the we that is the most important part of your marriage. That's what I like about the text that Dan read, that two are better than one, because that's what you're doing. You're recognizing that together you are stronger, you are better, and you can accomplish more than apart. And it's that commitment to that togetherness that makes all the difference. There's one little tag on that text that Dan didn't read, because at the very end of that text, after going two are better than one, two are better than one, two are better than one, it says that a cord of 3 strands is not quickly broken. Where's that third strand? Well, you know where I'm coming from. We talked about it. The third strand is who God is, who Christ is in your lives. It's your commitment to Christ that gives you the glue, that gives you the commitment to the we. So that you, Megan, you, Blake, and Christ in the middle become that strand that cannot be broken. So I pray that you will take the commitment that you make to the we, which is glued in Christ, and that you will take that commitment and you will put it at the very front of all of the other commitments that the world will call you to. And put it at the front, because then all of the other commitments that you have to make to job and family and other responsibilities, they will find their proper place in your life. Give your best energies to the we and not just the we's. May God add His blessing to these few words that I've shared this evening.